appeals to that classic romantic girly girl style, being like one with you, being like what you wear all the time. Not to like toot my own horn or anything. Like, it's almost as good as buying the thing. Hello, lovely feminine friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to do a more lighthearted video about 10 things that I do that are more so girly girl, that appeal to that like stereotypically feminine side of myself. But I do want to put a disclaimer that doing these girly girl things does not make you feminine. Girly girlness, or like these things that I'm going to describe, are an element of femininity in terms of creativity, but we all have different feminine archetypes. I'm going to link the videos that I made on feminine archetypes down below as well as above, and different personalities, so our creativity can manifest differently. However, living a feminine lifestyle means that you make time for creativity. Now, there are going to be different seasons in life where you don't have the capacity to fully embody that girly girl style and do girly girl things in your life. And that is okay. On this channel, I focus a lot about the deep work of femininity, which I believe is the foundation of femininity. So if you find yourself in a chaotic, busy season or a hard time in your life, please consume my other femininity videos in my femininity playlist so that you can actually grasp what true femininity is. However, when you get to more of that safe space in your life, or you have more time to pour back into yourself, embracing girly girlness is a good way to satisfy the creativity element of femininity. Me, myself, being 2.5 years out of postpartum with my second child, now I finally feel like I have a little bit more time to pour into this aspect of myself. So that's why I was inspired to share 10 things that I'm currently doing, that I have done in the past, that I find inspiration from other women to do and incorporate in my own life, so that hopefully I can be an inspiration to you to reignite that kind of inner child that, again, satisfies the creativity element of femininity. Before I get into the tips, I would love it if you would hit the like button. It really helps push out my small channel to those other women who might benefit from my content. And I'd love to know down below, what do you do in terms of stereotypically girly girl things in the comments section. And I do have to put out a big shout out to my members who truly support this channel. And if you're interested in supporting the work that I do on this channel, I will link a link to the membership in the description box. There's videos over there that I make specifically for members, but also archived videos, or videos that like I've made and I've never put on the public side of the channel, just like extra things over there to say thank you to my members. I would love to do a part 2, part 3, like keep going on with these girly tips. So again, if you hit the like button, it does let me know that you are interested in hearing more about the topic of being a girly girl. So the first thing is, of course, I love to embrace a 1950s homemaker housewife aesthetic. That kind of goes into the realm of like trad wife type of content, but I have established before that like you don't have to have this aesthetic to have more traditional feminine values. For me, I just eat it up, like that vintage trad wife, traditional housewife aesthetic. I love it. Many of you know, if you've been subscribed to the channel for a long time, that I am a big fan of Pyrex. I just find that the prints on vintage cookware are so feminine and girly. I love getting dressed up in classic dresses, collecting aprons. I love being creative with baking. I love reading vintage cookbooks. I'm constantly looking in the vintage book section at the thrift store. I just picked up like 2 cookbooks here that they just have, as you can tell, like that aesthetic on the cover. That vintage homemaker aesthetic. I love it so much. And I find that it appeals to that classic romantic girly girl style. And again, I just eat it up. Like I have a whole Pinterest board about the 1950s housewife aesthetic. And I just love it. You all know, if you've watched my vlogs, that really is my personal style. And I try to lean into it as much as I can. The next thing that I started to do when I was pregnant with my daughter and going through a hard time was I try to do a full glam makeup basically every single day. I used to put more makeup on for my videos when I film the videos and like less in daily life. And I got to a point where I realized like I wanted to be consistent in my makeup. I wanted it to be who I was as a person. So this level of makeup that you see on my videos is what I would consider like a full glam everyday makeup. And this is basically the makeup, apart from like extreme special occasions like attending a wedding or something like that, that I do on the daily, on the regular. And I'm constantly tweaking it and taking it up a notch, like one thing slowly at a time. If you are familiar with my other videos, I believe in slowly incorporating new goals and making sure that you're doing it in a sustainable way. So another aspect to like the full glam that I've mentioned in my summer glow up video is that I started doing my nails all the time consistently rather than like every other week like I did before and like taking breaks. But that to say, I really find that it appeals to my girly girl side because there's just something about, you know, the concept of like treating your face like a canvas, and you have that before and that after, and I just feel such a difference in my confidence doing my full glam makeup every single day. Now, I also started curling my hair pretty much every other day, and the days that I skip on this, I definitely feel it in terms of my confidence again. It's just something that I have basically made a part of myself, and I love it so much. When I add another element to my face or like my hair, I research it in depth, and even that whole process of like what new nail polish I'm going to pick or like what new lip gloss I'm going to pick is something that really ignites that girly girl creativity in me, and it's just so fun. The third thing is I love a good girly workout. Now, I have to be very careful when I talk about feminine fitness because some of the videos that I made before have insulted people, or like it's very difficult to talk about fitness and the way that I approach health without sounding like I am insulting people who do like more intense HIIT workouts or like weightlifting. That's not the vibe that I want to put out at all. But for me, a good girly workout is definitely up my alley. This is why I love Pilates. I also mentioned in my feminine hobbies video that if I didn't have like young toddlers right now, I would definitely do adult ballet classes. That's definitely something that I would be doing. I also tried, I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, the Tracy Anderson method. And although like when I do these workouts, my husband is in the background listening to these videos, like he does find them kind of funny. And to be honest, they are really funny. But I understand why Tracy Anderson has a cult-like following, because they just make you feel so good. And they're like designed in that soft intensity workout that I think is really girly girl. Again, back to like Pilates, what people would say was like hot mom walks, those kinds of things, right up my alley. Those are exercise routines that I love. And kind of going along with that, like I love athletic dresses. Many of you know I have a little bit of like a frustration because athletic dresses is what I go towards now in terms of like wearing things to play with my kids, long story short, that aren't too revealing. But there's also the concept of like dressing cute for a workout, even if you're at home. That is really a girly girl element that I, again, just like eat up in my life. And number 4 is we love taking our kids to Disney World, but not in like the Disney adult way, but we just love like that immersive experience, that childhood experience with our kids. And I find that like leaning into that, having a daughter now with princesses and just like, you know, letting her wear princess dresses, like watching princess movies, like princess everything, has also reignited in me a girly girl energy through her. Something about watching those classic Disney princess movies with like the Sleeping Beauty hair and like, you know, Cinderella's aura, that is something that I, again, for like the 50th time on this video, just eat up in terms of my girly girlness. Going along with the theme of princess energy is dressing up just because. I've always been somebody who has dressed up more than others in university. Like people would say, why are you so dressed up to come to class? And I was literally just wearing like boots, like high boots and a turtleneck. And I was like, this is casual. What do you even mean? But dressing up just because has also become a part of my identity. Like right now I'm wearing a dress that even where I am living, people aren't really dressing this way. It is like a little bit more over the top, but it's something that I love. Now that I'm not pregnant, early postpartum, I also am going to start wearing again what I used to call in my videos a long time ago, for those of you who are longtime subscribers, teacher shoes, which is basically kind of like a kitten heel or a small block heel. Something about wearing high heels just reignites that girly girl energy. But of course I have young kids, so I can't wear like super high heels like I used to in the past. But adding a little bit extra to your footwear just elevates your wardrobe. Getting dressed up like for date night. I've talked about safety concerns in the past. Like if I go to a grocery store, like a place that potentially is unsafe, I won't dress up. But if I'm going with my husband, I will dress up. Making sure you're carrying a cute bag, a lip gloss to reapply throughout the day, like those kinds of things to take your dressing up a level. Wearing aprons, I mentioned in the first point, while you're baking, just like holding your wardrobe to a higher standard is something I totally love. The seventh thing is adopting like signature jewelry. This might sound a little bit gross to some people, but I definitely make sure that I clean my rings. But my wedding rings are a part of who I am. Like these earrings that you see me wearing all the time, like pearl earrings. I used to have big ones, but I lost one of them when we were moving. So sad. Pearl earrings is a part of like the jewelry of who I am and kind of what I want you guys to even remember me as wearing. This bracelet, something that my mom gave me, I wear often. The jewelry that you see on these videos is pretty minimal, but you will constantly see it. And that's because I really believe in having your jewelry being like one with you, being like what you wear all the time, a signature piece of who you are. And again, it goes back to that concept of like heavily researching. There's another piece of jewelry that I want to incorporate in what I wear, but it's making sure that my jewelry is, again, something that is like consistent what I am wearing and helps me consistently feel feminine because it is a part of who I am and it speaks to my personality. It's not a decoration that I take on and off. It really is who I am. Number 8 is porch decorating by season, whether we are in our house or like in our RV. And in older vlogs in homes that I did show, I would always decorate the porch with a wreath. I don't show it as much anymore for like safety purposes, but as you all saw also in my Christmas vlog when we took our RV down south, I did a whole bunch of porch decorating for Christmas. I even had a wreath out there. I love that kind of stuff. I can't commit to like full decor all the time, but the porch is just like an element that I have kind of claimed as my own. And the rest of the house is of course like a conglomerate between like what my husband likes, what's feasible for like our small children, that kind of stuff. But like dedicating the porch decor has always been something that I've loved and has really helped me with my girly girl creativity. The 9th thing is something that I recently got really into out of like me just wanting to cut down on the amount of Starbucks that I consumed, was using my Nespresso machine and recreating like the drinks that I love there, but also like having a feminine twist on the types of drinks I like at home. Like you can take this in so many different ways. Me, I even love like girly sodas. Like I recently started drinking Alani and Poppy, and although that's so like stereotypically influencer, stereotypically girly, I love that. Like a cute can of drink or like a cute coffee that you can do for yourself. I love that kind of content and I love recreating it myself. It's just a special treat throughout my day that I can express my girly girl creativity and I can also take like a much needed 5-minute mom break. In terms of like those pops, again, those juices, like my husband knows that when we're going to Costco, like we are going to, you know, drop some money on those kinds of drinks. And it's funny because I've started referring to it as mom tax. And anyway, it's just like a funny joke that we have between ourselves. But like mom tax in terms of creativity when it comes to drinks, especially doing them at home, recreating them at home. I just love a good challenge to see like, will mine taste better than Starbucks, for example? And honestly, I do believe that I have reached that point. Not to like toot my own horn or anything. The 10th thing, which I kind of mentioned a little bit throughout this video, is I love heavily researching things before I buy them. Some people think it's like being cheap. You can think about it whatever way you want, but I love it. Like researching the lip gloss that I'm going to buy, researching, you know, even the most basic thing. I love it. I love pouring like attention and like picturing it in my home, picturing it on my body. Like I will go back and forth. It also helps me make better financial decisions, but I also find that the process of heavily researching whatever it is you're going to buy is a girly girl thing because the actual process of researching it expresses your creativity. Like, it's almost as good as buying the thing, like envisioning you using the thing, or like the piece of decor, envisioning like, will that blanket work? And I am not shy to like return something if it doesn't work out, or even going to the store and like realizing that it might not work out, just like window shopping and like seeing what's out there. I love it. So I'm going to end the video here. Like the video if you would like a part 2, because this was very fun to make. Leave your comments down below. What are some girly girl things that you love that really help tap into that creativity element of femininity? Once again, a big shout out to my members. I will leave the link in the description box, and I will see you next time. Lovely feminine friends. Bye bye.